They go.
Okay, chapter 29. Jacob meets Rachel. Who do you think Rachel is? Or do you remember from reading last year? Who's Rachel? Who's Rachel, son? We read about her in chapter 27 too. We read about her last year in Day by Day. We read about her this year.
I don't remember.
Rachel is one of Jacob's wifeys. Okay? So we're going to read about when Jacob meets Rachel. Okay? So write down the time, what you need to write down, then follow along, please. Chapter 29, verse 1. Then Jacob went on his journeys and came to the land of the people of the east. Verse 2. As he looked, he saw a well in the field, and behold, 3 flocks of sheep lying beside it. For out of that well the flocks were watered. The stone on the well's mouth was large. Verse 3. And when all the flocks were gathered, there the shepherds would roll the stone from the mouth of the well and water the sheep and put the stone back in its place upon the mouth of the well. Okay? That's where Abraham's servant found a wifey. That's where he found Rebecca at the well. Okay? So now it's Jacob looking for a wifey. They're at a well, and guess who he's going to meet at the well? Okay, his future wifey, Rachel. Okay? Verse 4. No, not Lot, son. Not Lot. Okay? When Sarah, after Sarah died, Abraham sent his servant to go find a wifey for Isaac. The nephew is Lot, baby. We're not talking about Lot, okay?
The nephew of Abraham.
Yes, that's Abraham's nephew. That's not who went to find a wifey for Isaac. Okay? Abraham sent one of his servants to find a wifey for Isaac. Okay? His servant went and met Rebecca at the well. Okay? And now Jacob's looking for a wifey. Jacob's at the well. Okay? Maybe the same well. I'm not sure. Verse 4, Jacob said to them, my brothers, where do you come from? They said, we are from Haran. Read verse 5, Ezekiel. Chapter 20. Yeah. They said, we know him. Verse 6, he said to him, it is well with him. They said, it is well, and see, Rachel, his daughter, is coming with the sheep. Verse 7, he said, behold, it is still a high day. It is not time for animals to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go, pasture them. Verse 8, but they said, we cannot until all the flocks are gathered together and the stone is rolled from the mouth of the well. Then we water the sheep. Verse 9, while he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. Verse 10, now when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, Jacob went up and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Verse 11, then Jacob kissed Rachel and wept aloud. Verse 12, and Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's kinsman and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. Verse 13, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. Jacob told Laban all these things. Verse 14, and Laban said to him, surely you are my bone and my flesh. And he stayed with him a month. Okay? The next verse, 15, starts the section. Jacob marries Laban's daughters. Then Laban said to Jacob, because you are my kinsman, you therefore serve me for nothing. Tell me, what shall your wages be? Verse 16, now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Verse 17, Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was beautiful and lovely. Verse 18, Jacob loved Rachel, and he said, I will serve you 7 years for your younger daughter, Rachel. Verse 19, Laban said, it is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to any other man. Stay with me. Verse 20, so Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of the love he had for her. Verse 21, then Jacob said to Laban, give me my wife, that I might go in to her, for my time is completed. Verse 22, so Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. Verse 23, but in the evening he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob and went into her. Verse 24, Laban gave his maid Zilpah to his daughter Leah to be her maid. Verse 25, and in the morning, behold, it was Leah, and Jacob said to Laban, what is this you have done to me? Did I not serve you for Rachel? Why then have you deceived me? Verse 26, Laban said, it is not so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Verse 27, complete the week of this one, and we will give you the other one in return for serving me another 7 years. Jacob did so and completed her week. Then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to wife. Verse 29, Laban gave his maid Bethuel to his daughter Rachel to be her maid. Verse 30, so Jacob went in to Rachel also, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and served Laban for another 7 years. Verse 31, when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. Verse 32, and Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, because the Lord has looked upon my affliction, surely now my husband will love me. Verse 33, she conceived again and bore a son and said, because the Lord has heard that I am hated, he has given me a son also. And she called his name Simeon. Verse 34, again she conceived and bore a son and said, now this time my husband will be joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore his name will be called Levi, like your classmate, baby, from Parkcrest. Verse 35, and she yeah, I remember, baby. Okay, let's stay focused. Yeah. That one, no, it didn't go into detail about all those sons, but in the Bible from last year, yeah. Not the Begin to Read Bible. Okay, verse 35. Verse 35, and she... Yes, that one's the Begin to Read Bible, son. Okay, let's focus on today's reading. And she conceived again and bore a son and said, this time I will praise the Lord. Therefore, she called his name Judah. Then she ceased bearing. Judah is that her 5th son? I lost count. I think that's her 5th son, Judah. Okay, and then she stopped having sons for a minute.
Judah is
So before,
Look, Judah's up there with there.
okay, baby. So before Rachel even had one baby, okay, God blessed Leah, okay, with 5 boys. Okay?
How about us? With 5 boys.
No, we're only 3.
No,
We're only 3 and then Mama.
no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mama, let's just.
Mama's included with the boys and then Elijah's included too, huh?
No, there's 4 of us and then 5. We will have 5 people in us.
Oh. Okay, Ziki, that's the end of chapter 29. You have any questions about chapter 29?
Oh, now for 10 minutes.